Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Battlefield 4 News, and today we're covering some of the updates from DICE about grenade tweaks and what other items they're looking at to balance. But first I'm going to look at this gentleman. He's the Chief Operating Officer of EA and he's called Peter Moore, and some of the comments he's been coming out with seem slightly delusional. According to Peter Moore, the bugs and problems with Battlefield have not affected its sales, and I can't see how this has happened. He says that the problem with sales is down to the changeover in console generation, for I would love to see what the PC sales are after launch compared to Battlefield 3. The poor launch and the continued problems with Battlefield 4 must have affected its sales. I can understand that the pre-orders may well have been the same as they were for Battlefield 3 or higher, but surely the sales after launch have got to be down on what they were expecting, and that's purely down to the bugs. Even though he was talking to EA investors about the sales of Battlefield 4, he didn't mention any figures across the platforms, and this has got to be because they were much poorer than they were expecting. As part of the improved information we're getting from DICE, they've given out some of the grenade tweaks that they're planning to release in future updates. So the first change here concerns flashbangs and hand flares, but as the hand flares are completely useless, I am going to ignore them. So you can now carry 3 flashbangs instead of 2. They're also increasing the effect of the flashbang on friendly and enemy players. If you're on a server with friendly fire off, you'll receive half the effect, and if you're on a server with friendly fire on, you'll receive the full effect. They've increased the duration from 5 seconds to 4 seconds on enemy players. Additionally, they've increased the range at which players feel the full effect of the flash, and they've also increased the effect if you're not looking at where the flash lands. So this is going to help the flashbang become a viable choice as a grenade option, but to be honest, why would you carry a flashbang when you could throw a V40 Mini round the corner and do damage to a player? The flashbang is going to disorientate people round the corner, but the V40 Mini might kill them. They are increasing the damage of the RGO impact grenade from 67 to 80. To balance this, the explosion radius is becoming smaller, so this means that you're going to have to be more accurate with the RGO to get a kill from it. The V40 Mini is getting nerfed all round. Its damage is being decreased from 80 to 60 and its range is being decreased as well. So you can still carry 3 of them, but they're going to be much less effective, and this means that the M67 is going to be a more viable option if you're trying to get kills. They've also released information about items they've been looking at but have decided not to balance, but are going to continue looking at to see how things go. Players have been complaining that the TV missile should one-hit kill enemy aircraft, and they considered raising the damage from 80 to 90%, but they decided not to. And I'm really grateful for this, because TV missiles are powerful enough as it is, and you can knock a helicopter around with one or a jet, and an instant kill on one from a missile that can't be avoided might have been a bit of overkill. It was also suggested that sniper rifle and 12 gauge slug rounds should be able to penetrate body armour at close range. Now you may well have noticed that body armour in Battlefield 4 is backwards. Sniper rifles and slug rounds don't go through it, but pistols do go through it, which is the opposite of how real body armour works. Real body armour will protect you against small caliber rounds, but a large caliber sniper rifle will punch straight through it. But the aim of the defensive perk is to stop one-shot body kills, and that's what it does. So yes, it's counterintuitive that the larger caliber rounds don't go through it, but it's in there for a game reason, not for a realism reason. And as is pointed out, flechette rounds do go through body armour. Slugs were designed for long-range alternatives for shotguns. DICE have received complaints that the Ace-23 is overpowered. Now, the Ace-23 isn't overpowered, it's a bit like the M16A4 was in Battlefield 3. It's just reasonably good at everything. there's nothing the Ace 23 does better than any other gun, and it can be beaten at most ranges, but what it does is it performs adequately at all ranges, and DICE don't see any reason to change this. A topic that's been quite well discussed on the forums is below radar. Now in Battlefield 3, if you were flying a helicopter or a jet and you got a lock on, you could dive for the ground, and if you skimmed the ground you couldn't be locked on by mobile AAs or other vehicles. You could still be locked on by stingers. Now in Battlefield 4 they say that they never intended below radar to be in the game, although they did look at making it harder to lock on something that was closer to the ground, but decided that it was too unpredictable as to what was locking you or what weapon you had to lock a helicopter. So there is no plans for below radar to come back. Long range scopes for DMRs are not going to be coming to Battlefield 4 because they don't want the DMRs to compete directly with the sniper rifles. So the sniper rifles are going to keep their range advantage and the DMRs are going to keep their speed advantage. And so in middle ranges they're going to compete, but at long range the snipers are still going to be king. Another hot topic on the forums are aircraft countermeasures. Now DICE here are pointing out that the countermeasures are only effective against missiles that are at range. If the person firing is too close to you, or you activate them too late, the missile will ignore the countermeasures. So if you get the fired warning, you need to hit those countermeasures straight away and not try to wait until the last minute. There are a couple more complaints about the mobile AA that DICE have had a look at, one of which is its effectiveness against the AC-130 gunship. Now I don't see this as a problem. The mobile AA is pretty much the only thing at the moment that can reach the AC-130 other than jets. Now they have reduced the range of the mobile AA's 20mm cannons, and so what they're saying is this should address some of the issues with the AC-130 in the fact you'll need to be closer to it to take it down. The damage against other ground vehicles they don't see a problem with, because you've really got to kind of ping at other vehicles with the mobile AA, and if it's a straight on fight the mobile AA is going to lose. Ground destruction makes it too hard to drive vehicles. Oh de-dums, learn how to drive. People have been complaining about the rate of fire on the G36C carbine, and DICE basically tell them that it's Battlefield 4 not Battlefield 3, so get used to it. Now a change I think they should make is the attack helicopter's speed and manoeuvrability. Now what DICE say here is effectively they've changed a lot of the things that could threaten the attack helicopter, and they've changed the attack helicopter's options for fighting back. So they want to wait until those changes have been seen before they add another buff to the attack helicopter. That's all the balancing details that DICE have announced so far. Don't forget that February is Player Appreciation Month, so you can log in for your battle packs and you can look out for the upcoming events. I've made a few changes to the start and end titles of these videos just to make things seem a bit smoother between the video and the sound, and to swap around the next and previous buttons and the outro because they were the wrong way around. And that's it for this episode of Battlefield 4 News. Thanks for watching.